I wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God, I let it go.
Hello, my Astro family. These are your June 2020 horoscopes with me, Lada from astrolada.com. And 2020 is the year that keeps on giving. June is another roller coaster month that's going to have two eclipses. And as you know, eclipses always bring sudden and unexpected events, twists and turns, and the karmic fated events that turn our life around for better or worse. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have Mercury going retrograde, another retrograde planet, and Venus turning direct. But we'll go one step by step through everything. Before that, I just wanted to announce that June and July, I'm dedicating to ancient Babylonian astrology. We're going to be making huge promotions for Babylonian astrology readings, the way they were done 3,000-4,000 years for the kings of this world only. And Rumen Kolev does those readings. They're all discounted 30 to 50%. And it's astrology like you've never seen. He single-handedly revived the astrology of ancient Babylon by translating texts and clay tablets that were lost and forgotten for thousands of years, by learning the language of the ancient Babylonian cultures and rediscovering true real astrology as it existed thousands of years ago. And he's starting also Babylonian Astrology Academy from the end of May, but you can hop on the train anytime you want. It's extremely cheap. It comes up to around $60 per month, and you're going to learn ancient Babylonian astrology from scratch. Also, if you want previous courses, they're all on discount from ancient Babylonian astrology. So do check out the links below if you're interested to be the only group in the world that is going to be studying ancient Babylonian astrology with the foremost scholar and only astrologer in the world who revived ancient Babylonian astrology, basically. So now let's start with the 12 signs.
I wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God, I let it go.
Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. The month is starting with a lunar eclipse in your 10th house of career and work and reputation. So something important will be happening there in the first 2 weeks of June. Full moons are about completion, something coming to an end. So maybe something you can complete, a project you've been working on, or maybe for some of you might be like an end of a career, an end of an engagement or public responsibility of some sort, or duty of some sort. For others, it can simply mean seeing the results of something they've been working on, something basically culminating, and it can be a great payoff for some people. Say they've been trying to climb the ladder socially, corporately, and they achieve now like some kind of, and they've been working hard on that, but it's not something totally new. It's something that you've been working on, something that you're aware of, that you've been striving towards, maybe in the last even year and a half, when there was a new moon there in your 10th house. So now you can see completion, conclusions, rewards, because full moon eclipses, they tend to give you something. But because the full moon eclipse this time is with the south node, there is a feeling of something ending as well. Like you're putting a conclusion on that area of your life. And as I said, public responsibility, career, relationship with an authority figure, engagement with some institution of some sort as well. And that can also create some stress, because this lunar eclipse is expected in a difficult way, with Mars from your sign in Pisces making a square. So this completion, conclusion that we talked about in your career can be triggered with your own initiative, but it can put stress on you. It can create a sense of, restlessness and urge, and maybe even aggravation a bit of some sort because of Mars. But Mars being in your sign the whole month of June definitely indicates that you're extremely proactive this month, that you take initiatives, that you go after what you want, but you can clash, especially the first part of the month when Mars is squaring planets in your 10th house, this full moon eclipse, and the sun in your fourth house of home and family. So be careful, especially the first week or two of the month, that you don't clash by you being a bit more pushy or by you being more impatient, clash opinions with authority figures. So some crisis can happen with authority figures at work, in some work project, because you're pushing, or even with family members when Mars is making the square to Venus in your fourth house, of family, of place of living, of anything to do with property and home. So these are the themes, and that's very active month because the most important areas of your life are triggered. Especially the first part of the month: career, social standing, your personal self, your personal initiatives, your home and private life. And some Pisces need to be a bit more careful the first week, 10 days, especially ones that are born within, basically from around the 3rd of May, 3rd, 4th of May to around the 8th, sorry, not May, March. 3rd, 4th to around the 8th, 9th of March, because this eclipse triggers them very strongly. Or if you have your ascendant or moon from around 12 degrees to around 17, 18 degrees. You know, if you know your ascendant and moon, they usually come in degrees. If they're in Pisces, you have to be most careful the first 2 weeks of the month. Something very pivotal will happen in your social status and family life that you're instigating, that you're initiating, but that might be at cross purposes with you. For example, your family wants something, your boss wants something on your career, and they're pulling on you. And you want something else. But usually even difficult configurations can create a lot of dynamic positive results if you don't overdo, if you don't over how they say, if you don't lose your marbles, your control, you know. So yes, some stressful situation there, and especially also be careful with relationships generally. The first, you know, it's happening on the 4th of June, this eclipse. So even from the beginning of June till the end, actually on the 5th of June is happening, but on the 4th, Venus is square Mars. So be careful in relationship how you communicate with people, especially if you're born on those degrees or those days that I mentioned, because you'll be most strongly affected. To get irritated, to fire up, to take some a bit more reckless actions, uh, you know, because of the nature of the planets and the aspects that are happening. But after that, don't worry, because towards the second part of the month, if there were some complications, they start straightening out. And what is happening that also Venus is invisible in your fourth house till around the middle of the month, which means that family, home, there might be some, and retrograde. So there might be, if there's some crisis or complications, or you're reworking something, home project, or delays with selling or buying property, or family tension between you, or reevaluating relationships and trying to clear them up, relationships with close family members, or the environment in your home. When Venus becomes visible and direct after the 25th of June, everything will clear up there. Everything, there will be also the birth. When Venus becomes visible, there is the birth of some new circumstances that are positive in regards to property, to home, to emotional well-being, to family members. So after the 15th, something new is born there, some new opportunities come, and complications get untangled and resolved, like some support, new support can come to you in matters connected to, you know, real estate and all the likes that I talked about. Settling, family, parenthood. All right, we also, and some opportunity for abundance or wealth because of Venus being born in your fourth house. In some extreme cases, it can mean the birth of a new family member, someone new joining the family somehow, or the place that you're living. Then you're going to have Mercury going retrograde on the 18th in your fifth house of romance and love and children. And at the same time, a solar eclipse in your fifth house on the 21st of June. So retrograde means something old that you're working on. So you're, maybe an old lover can come back and reconnect with you, or someone that you used to date, or you can hear from them. Or if you're already dating, you might have to bring up old issues that you haven't worked on. And Mercury is retrograde there, Mercury is retrograde till July the 12th. So initially when it becomes retrograde is when you are asked to revise things, things start coming to the surface, you have to talk about them and decide if you can reach some, you know, better arrangements there when it comes to boyfriends, girlfriends, or just someone from the past coming, so you can see the relationship, past relationship, from a different angle, or just resume the communication, maybe heal and reset this kind of romantic feelings that you had before, and heal them in some way. But also the fifth house is your creative project. So maybe you might revive and revisit some old hobbies, some old places that you used to love before, to have fun in, to enjoy, or some activities through which you have fun and enjoy in the past that you haven't done in a while. Mercury going retrograde day, it's going to be like, oh, it's fine. I find this interesting again. I find this enjoyable again. Let me dust off my flute, if you play a flute and you haven't played it in a long time, and you can just pick it up again and, you know, pick it up, something enjoyable, some creative hobby, or some creative project that you haven't completed, that you come back to after the 18th of, around the middle of June onwards. But not only that, fifth house rules also if you have your own business, for example, because it's your own baby. Fifth house rules baby, something you create from and raise. So you might be revising certain ideas about your business, the look of your business, the creative approach of the business, the brand of it, how it attracts attention. Some people, for example, might start trying to upgrade a website, but usually first when the planet goes retrograde, especially Mercury in the fifth house, something gets complicated, something in regards to basically if it's your own business, with creative projects, with ideas that you're working on that are your own, that needs to be fixed. And when the planet is retrograde, you edit it, you say, okay, maybe this you know, maybe I can spruce up the image of my business, or maybe I can, this project I'm working on, it gets delayed, there is some complication, and you have to go over it and change it. You know, retrograde planet is change it, make it a bit different, make it better. And by the time Mercury goes direct in the middle of July, you'd have a much better creative project, you'd have a much better and more kind of, I would say, more workable, or more efficient, more organized, and more market savvy business or creative project, or if it's your own business, you know, business project of any sort. But the retrograde period is, there is a complication that you have to fix it, you have to improve it. Also, children is the fifth house. Maybe if your grown children have left the nest, they can come back towards the end of June to reconnect, or maybe some issues in their lives that they have to work extra hard on, to put more energy, to put more effort to you know, to improve. And in some other circumstances, there can be a little bit of a crisis in a relationship with a child, grown-up child, or romantic partner as well. Children or romantic partners are the fifth house, I guess, because these are the people we love the most. And so this retrograde in the fifth house is asking you to bring up things from the past with the children, and something that's been bugging you will be spoken, will be brought to the surface. Especially it will be of an emotional nature, because it is Cancer. They're about their needs. A lover or your husband or wife can bring up issues, so you can bring up issues to them about how you want to be loved, and something about the love relationship, or a child, how you want to, you know, maybe the child might say, Mom, you know, let's do this differently, this relationship cannot continue like that, or this you know, it might be a relationship or something that you're doing together, and that they either you bring it up or they bring it up with those kind of people, and you work on them during the Mercury retrograde period. But at the same time, on the 21st of June, there is also a solar eclipse in your fifth house. So there is something new while you're working on those old issues connected to, you know, this fifth house, creative projects, business if it's your own, something with your children, with loved ones, matters of love. Then there is a new moon eclipse, and solar eclipses can bring something extremely fated, especially if you're very early Pisces, those that are born in February, you know, the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th of February, because the eclipse really affects them. But for all Pisces, you can stay tuned for it. It's possible to happen that this Solar eclipse, solar eclipse with Rahu. Rahu gives you something that can stay in your life for a long time, but usually can happen always in an unexpected, fast way that is a bit shocking. It might be a very positive development. For example, something new, suddenly a new love interest appears in your life. They're usually quite karmic, quite fated. Suddenly, and you receive something from it. For example, you are in another way, because Mercury is retrograde there, so you might be in a process of revisiting and revising with a psychologist, for example, or just on your own, thinking about old relationships and the dynamics of love, who receives, who gives more, how of dating, the dynamics of dating, and or maybe someone, or maybe you're in a tough situation with your current boyfriend or girlfriend or partner, that you're talking with them how you feel loved or don't feel loved and what's not going well, and you're bringing it to the surface. While an eclipse there can, at the same time, something new, that a totally new strategy appears in your life in regards to that love relationship. Totally new approach appears for you, or a totally new person. Suddenly, like a new love interest can appear for you. It's a bit complex. All things connected to the fifth house are coming to be revised, but new opportunities are coming there, and they're quite surprising. So a new creative project as well. So while you're working on fixing an old one, a new one can suddenly appear. And for some people might even be like a new child, or a pregnancy. Well, that's quite extreme, but just keep it in mind. It's maybe 2% will happen to have this effect, or 1%, but still it's a possibility. So yes, quite a dynamic month, as you can see. Up and down, up and down. The two fields that are most intense are this, the career area at the start, then it becomes more towards the home, towards love people, towards more personal life, and creative projects. So there you go, Pisces. Hope you enjoy this month of surprises, and I will see you next month.
I wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God. Let it go. Clean myself completely so I can get higher above. I will love you more than I could ever love. Let's be found in our heart.